Now then, if we were to take the sum of those three numbers from our previous questions, divided by 4, and multiplied by 7, what would our answer be? Come now, none of you know the answer? Come now, children, I know that your Christmas break is coming in a day or so, but that doesn't mean you should all shut your minds off until after the new year. All right, I shall put you all out of your misery. The answer, of course, is 721. Now then, let's move on to another question.
724, sir.
Huh? What was that? Speak up.
Professor DeVol, your math was slightly off. If you divide the previous number by 4, then multiply it by 7, you actually get 724, not 721. It's okay, though. It was an honest mistake.
Sherlock Holmes. Why am I not surprised you'd be the one to catch a mistake like that? As well as be the one who corrects me.
Well, my apologies, sir, but I'm sure you wanted to teach the class the correct answer, right? I mean, at least I hope you would.
Quiet. Mr. Holmes, you are a student here. I am the teacher. What makes you so sure that you're actually correct?
Professor, I think Sherlock is right because, well, he's shown himself to be really good at math. I mean that in the nicest way, of course, sir.
John Watson, of course. If Holmes here is involved in something, you're never too far away.
Forgive me, sir. I suppose we've been best friends for so long. It's a force of habit.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Forgive Watson, sir. It's my fault. I was the one who spoke first. I just wanted to do what was right, though.
Well, we can very easily settle this. Let me just check the answer. Uh-huh. Carry the 4. Uh, oh.
724, sir.
724, Mr. Holmes. Well, thank you all for that engaging class. Remember, Christmas ball is tonight, so dress nicely and behave yourselves. Holmes, come here, boy.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holmes, I've been pondering for a long while about you, boy, and I've come to one conclusion. You are an extremely bright, well-versed, educated young man, and I feel that someday you will make a fine teacher. A fine anything for that matter. I'm almost certain that, no matter what you decide to do in life, you will be the best at it because you apply yourself and you do the best possible job at it. However, on the other side of the coin, you also annoy the very dickens out of me with your back talk, your know-it-all attitude, and your sometimes disrespect for authority. So, you ought to work on one thing, just one thing, over this Christmas break. It would be to show me some respect, for goodness sake.
Of course, sir. I promise.
Very well, then. Off you go, my lad. Holmes, just remember, you've got a special gift laying up there. All you need to do is apply it correctly, and the world is yours. Otherwise, you'll just be a smart aleck with no purpose.
Duly noted, sir.
Oh, bloody hell. That boy could probably teach this class if he wanted to. If he wasn't so frustratingly annoying in certain aspects. I just let him.
There you are, Sherlock. Gosh, Devil Duval kept you for so long, I thought it was the end of you.
Nonsense, John. It was just a discussion. Man to man is all.
He let you have it, didn't he?
And then some.
Well, the sting will pass, Sherlock. For now, let's concentrate on the Christmas ball tonight. Have you a suit picked out?
But of course,
Hold it, hold it, hold it. State your business.
we've no business, Lestrade. Just passing through.
You're patrolling the halls more than usual, Lestrade. Any reason why?
See that statue there?
Of course, it's that statue of Jonas Merriweather. He founded this school, did he not?
Look there, in his left hand. It's no addition to the statue.
Huh, look at that. It's a scepter.
Made out of gold and with a lot of jewels covering it too.
It certainly looks nice.
And Dean Merlin, he instructed me to guard it. As the prefect, I took that duty without hesitation, and I take my job very seriously. So go on, shoo away. We don't want this statue to have any harm come to it.
Never fear, Gary. As long as you're around, I'm sure that'll be the case.
He certainly takes his duty seriously, eh, Sherlock?
Very much so. It's almost as if he's grooming himself to be a policeman.
I suppose every boy has a dream, eh?
Sure. Do you want to know what I'm dreaming of right now?
What's that, Holmes?
The sugar cakes at the ball tonight. Miss Deckard, the cook, makes the most divine ones.
Oh, Sherlock, you ought to be careful. If you eat too many of those, you'll be dreaming of something else besides sugar plums dancing in your head.
Oh, and what's that?
Stomach aches!
Good evening to you, children. Now then, before our Christmas ball begins, I have a few words to say. Oh dear, where did I put my speech? I swear I had it a moment ago. Dean Merlin. Oh, gracious me. I should have my head examined. I know I came here with my speech. Where on earth could it be? Sir, your speech is... No, I don't want any help. I need to find it myself. Oh, well, crisis averted. And now then, children, remember, this is not just a time about receiving gifts, but also giving of yourselves. Whether it be friendship or time for studies and charity, Christmas might only come once a year, but you should always be mindful of such good deeds the whole year through. Now then, have a splendid time at the ball tonight.
Gosh, Sherlock, they certainly went all out in decorating the banquet hall for this year's Christmas ball.
Indeed they did, Watson. Though, it appears to me it was a rush job. Done at the last minute. Don't blame them, though, with our final test for the year being delayed until just a short time ago.
Rush job, Sherlock. What makes you say that?
Well, it's quite simple, really. A mere curiously glance shows that several of the decorations are hung at odd angles. None of them match one another, or in any sort of straight line. Not to mention, there's different colored tinsel hanging there, and there.
Sometimes, Holmes, I forget just how much attention to detail you possess.
Tell me, Watson, what is your wish for the upcoming new year?
Me? Well, I of course am excited to see my parents back home. I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve there. One of these days you ought to visit me around the holidays. My mother cooks the finest Christmas goose you've ever tasted. We sing carols, we go outside to watch the snow fall when there is some, and my father tells a lot of wonderful ghost stories at night. And what about you, Sherlock? What's your wish for the upcoming New Year?
Slowly, two girls have entered into the ballroom. One is Grace Duval. The other is Amaryllis, her best friend. Grace is dressed in a green gown with matching gloves. Holmes's eyes meet hers, and she smiles sweetly and waves to him, then looks away shyly. Holmes is awed. He obviously knows this girl from what we can see.
Why tell you, and I could show you, my friend.
Huh? You mean Grace Duval?
The very same.
My word! But Sherlock, she's...
The most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
Well, yes, she is very pretty, you're right. But don't forget she's Professor Duval's daughter. And I think we know how he feels about you at the moment.
Watson, in life, I find one thing to be very true. You miss 100% of the chances that you never take. Excuse me a moment.
Shyly, Sherlock approaches Grace, then taps her gently on the shoulder.
Hello, Sherlock. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Grace and Amaryllis. Merry Christmas to you as well. You look lovely tonight, Grace, and your dress is beautiful too.
This old thing? Oh, it's just something I found at the last minute.
It looks great, but then anything you wear looks beautiful on you.
Aren't you the sweetest thing? You know, you're looking very handsome yourself tonight, Sherlock.
Oh, well, gosh, I don't know about that.
Sherlock, you're blushing.
Am I?
You are. Come now, you don't need to be shy around me. Come on, Sherlock, dance with me.
I would, but alas, I really don't know how to dance very well.
It's fine if you can't do it well, as long as it's you dancing with me. Please, for me?
Or you, yes.
With that, Sherlock bows to Grace as she smiles and curtsies, and the two begin to playfully waltz around the room. Meanwhile, two new boys come walking into the room, both with an air of menace to them. One of them is James Moriarty, the other is Jarvis, his lackey. The two push their way past several kids, then slowly zero in on Watson. Jarvis sidles up next to Watson and flicks his nose as Moriarty stands off to the side of the two. Jarvis then leers at Amaryllis.
Ow! Hey, what did you do that for?
Because you were in my way, Scrap. Hi, Armadillo.
That's Amaryllis.
I was nowhere near you. Jarvis, can't you just leave me alone for one day?
Gosh. Let me think about that.
Jarvis smirks and smacks the back of Watson's head.
Nope, I guess not.
I don't want to have to cause a scene, but I'll defend myself and the lady if I must.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Come now, Watson. I don't really appreciate you speaking to my friend that way. He was only kidding you.
Yeah, only kidding.
Look, Moriarty, just leave me alone, won't you? I came here to have fun, not to be one of your victims.
That's all well and good. But you see, Watson, dear boy, this kind of thing is how Jarvis and I like to have fun.
Yeah, not so fun. Right, Armadillo?
It's Amaryllis, you Neanderthal.
Moriarty and Jarvis sandwich Watson in the middle of them and push him back and forth, cackling as they do. Meanwhile, Holmes, still waltzing with Grace, spots what's happening, stops waltzing, and frowns.
Sherlock, why did you stop?
Would you, pardon me a moment, Grace? Hey,
Well, look who it is. The know-it-all, Sherlock Holmes. Come to save your dear friend, have you?
Morty, don't you have anything better to do than menace people for no reason?
If it upsets you that much, not at all.
If you're gonna target someone, target me. Leave John alone. And you, Jarvis, you leave Amaryllis alone.
Is that a challenge?
It is.
Well, I'm certainly going to enjoy this night even more.
Yeah, me too.
That's enough, James. Leave all of them alone.
Why, Grace, I wasn't aware you were here. You're looking very lovely tonight.
I was trying to make sure you didn't see me for a reason.
Oh, come now, Grace. Is that any way to speak to me? You'd think your father would teach you better manners.
I reserve manners for those who deserve them, and you two certainly don't fit the bill with your behavior.
So you're siding with them, are you? How is it that someone so beautiful can also be so dumb? Typical girl. Wouldn't you say, Jarvis?
Ah, yeah, typical.
Don't speak to her like that. She's a lady and she's deserved to be treated as such.
I wasn't talking to you, was I? I was talking to her. Come now, milady. Forget about these fools and dance with me, won't you?
I'd rather sit on a cactus.
Shut up. As for you, I'll teach you to show the proper respect.
Moriarty grabs Grace's arm, but Holmes, quick as a flash, smacks his arm away, then palm strikes Moriarty in the chest, sending him backwards. Jarvis tries to jump in for defense, but Holmes chops Jarvis in the shoulder, sending him scurrying as well. By now, everyone in attendance has stopped dancing and talking and are watching the unfolding events.
Oh no, what's going on? Sherlock, no!
Right, yahoo! David Holmes, looking good.
Sherlock, no!
You're not going to get away with this, you worm.
All right, that's enough of that.
Father, thank goodness you're here.
What is all this blasted commotion? What are you hooligans up to, eh?
It was them, sir.
That's a lie.
Yeah, we didn't do anything.
Everyone here saw you try and manhandle Grace.
That's right.
Did you two creatures try and lay hands on my daughter?
Of course not, sir. We didn't lay one finger on her.
Yes, he did. I saw it too, sir.
If Sherlock over here hadn't stopped us, we would have, though.
Moriarty frowns and elbows Jarvis roughly in the stomach.
Oh, oof. Oh, I wasn't supposed to admit that. Was I? Oops.
I think it's time you two ruffians went back to your rooms. Now. And you will be brought to the dean's office in the morning to speak about this. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Get going. As for you, Mr. Holmes, you defended my daughter's honor, did you? Well, while I may not appreciate your candor in the classroom, my boy, this action will certainly not go unnoticed. Carry on, lad. Carry on.
Thank you, sir.
Words cannot describe how much I despise you, Holmes. This isn't the end of this.
Sherlock, that was absolutely amazing. You really showed those two what for. Where did you learn fighting moves like that?
My brother Mycroft, of course. It always pays to have an older brother who's experienced in grappling and fighting, I always say.
Golly, I certainly hope you teach me those techniques sometime.
Of course I will, friend. Of course I will.
I'm going to see what Lestrade thought of that fight. Come on, Amaryllis. We'll be back soon.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. You were so brave back there, Sherlock. Not only standing up for John against those two, but standing up for me too. Saving me from that brute trying to hurt me like he did.
Well, what's right is right. Those two can target me if they want, but I'll be damned if I let them target my best friend and someone I care about, like you.
You really feel that way?
Of course.
Well, would you like to hear something that I'm sure you already know? I really care about you too.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I've liked you for a long time now, and tonight only proves just what a kind, brave, sweet boy you are.
Well, thank you, Grace. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Here, consider this my thank you for what you've done tonight. I think you really deserve it.
Grace smiles, then slowly leans in for a kiss. Holmes smiles back and leans in as well. But before anything can happen, suddenly, the lights all go out. Pandemonium ensues.
Oh, Cherry, save me!
All right, everyone, don't panic, don't panic. As prefect, I'm here to maintain order. Everyone form a line and walk with me this way to safety. Ow. Okay, quick safety tip. Don't walk this way. There's a rather big wall blocking the way. Just stay put.
Grace? Grace, are you nearby? Where are you?
Sherlock?
John, I can hear you, but where are you?
Hang on, I'll come to you. Just stay where you are, like Lestrade said.
All right, just follow my voice. I'm right here. Watson, is that you? Did you find me?
Yes, Sherlock. That's my ear you're grabbing.
Sorry.
Sherlock, what on earth happened? 1 second everyone was dancing and talking. The next minute the lights went out.
It's a good question, Watson, but one we should come back to once we know everyone is okay.
Who turned out the lights around here?
Oh, brother, what are you doing back here?
Calm down, Pipsqueak. We were both in our room. Then suddenly the lights doused out. We weren't sure what was going on, so we felt our way down the hall and came here. Safety in numbers, after all.
Never mind, you two. Have any of you heard Grace's voice? Think we got separated in all the confusion. I hope she's okay.
Children, please be calm. We'll have the lights back on in just a moment. Everyone stay still. Don't wander off.
Hello? Where is everyone?
Grace? Grace, is that you?
Father, where are you? I'm frightened. I can't see a thing.
Stay calm, my love. Just follow my voice. I'm reaching my hands out for you. Ah, there you are. It's okay, my dear. The lights will be back on any moment now.
I certainly hope so. Oh, Father, it's all so scary and confusing. So many people kept bumping into me. I wasn't sure what to do.
Soon, the lights on stage finally come back on. Electric, not candlelight. And the students and teachers all mutter with relief. Meanwhile, Amaryllis is happily clinging to Lestrade, who is looking at her as if she's out of her mind. He gently extricates himself from her grasp. Amaryllis looks disappointed. Ah, there we are. Slightly amused, Duval watches as Amaryllis hugs Lestrade. Is everyone here all right?
Grace! Are you all right?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm so sorry. I got so frightened and disorientated. I wasn't sure what anyone was.
Never mind that, as long as you're okay.
Yeesh, your hands are like icicles. You're not that much of a reptile, are you?
One more crack like that and I'll pound you, Watson. Ah, you disappoint me, Armadillo.
It's Amaryllis.
It does seem a little strange. It's warm throughout the whole building, and yet here you are, with cold hands.
Strange that the lights would all suddenly go out. Must have been a freak occurrence. Sure things are fine now.
You were saying, sir?
Merlin, what on earth is the matter? Sir, please calm yourself. Take a deep breath and tell me what's wrong. Gone! Oh, it's gone! What's gone? The scepter from our statue of our school's founder is gone, I tell you. Sir, are you sure about this? Perhaps you just looked at the statue from the wrong angle. Wrong angle, nothing. It's gone. Someone's pinched it.
All right, nobody move. As prefect, I place you all in custody until we find the culprit. Right.
Your enthusiasm is noted, Mr. Lestrade, but leave this to the adults for now, my boy.
Who on earth could have done such a thing, Sherlock?
Your guess is as good as mine, friend. Anyone here could have done it. Lights were out long enough for anyone to go out in the hall without suspicion.
Hey, what's that you got there?
Excuse me?
Right there, tucked in the ruffle of your dress.
What are you talking about?
Right there.
Get away from my dress, you little pig!
Just a minute now. Jarvis is right. I see something there too. Hello. What's this?
The scepter!
No!
So that's what I saw. It was you. You took it.
What? I have no idea how I even got there.
Oh, come now. Do you expect us to believe you didn't know you had something like that hidden in your dress?
I wasn't even out in the hallway. I was stumbling about in there when this all happened.
Ha. A likely story.
Well, there's only one thing left to do. Miss Double, I place you under arrest.
What?
Wait just a minute now.
Sir, you can't possibly think I did this. I would never.
Mr. Ron, how could you?
Father, please get them all to believe me. You know I would never do something like this. Father, please. Not you too. I'm innocent.
Grace, I'm your father. You know I'll always be by your side. Unless you can prove your whereabouts from the last few minutes.
Father, please, you must believe me. I'm not a thief.
I agree. Grace was standing with me just as the lights were doused out. We were at the farthest point from the doors that led out into the hall. I highly doubt she made her way to the statue and took the scepter, came back here so swiftly.
Why am I not surprised?
And just what do you mean by that?
Well, of course you're siding with her. You're blinded by infatuation with her. Poor love-struck fool that you are.
It's simple common sense. I agree with Sherlock. How on earth could Grace have moved so quickly in the dark?
Bah! The evidence is right here. Dean Merlin, I, for one, am shocked at this. Simply shocked.
Why did you do it, huh, Grace?
She didn't.
No, I did not.
I think I might know why. Isn't it true, Professor, that you were recently passed up for the position of Vice Dean of our school?
Not that it's any concern of yours. But yes, I was.
Well, then the way I see it, it was an act of revenge. You were upset that your father didn't get this position, so you decided to desecrate our beloved statue by taking the scepter. Perhaps you were looking to find a way to sell it for some money for your family.
What a greedy girl she is.
You can say that again.
What a greedy girl she is.
Moriarty frowns and bonks Jarvis over the head.
Ow. Well, tell me to say it again.
Father, these are all lies. I'm innocent. Oh, why would you believe me? Why would you make them all believe me?
I'm sorry, my dear, truly I am. But once you can show me proof, you know I'll believe it in a heartbeat.
Oh, Father.
She didn't do it, Moriarty. You know she didn't do it.
She's escaping! Quick! After her before she steals more!
Lestrade, get back here! I'll go after her to calm her down. Then we can get to the bottom of this. Please do! Oh!
Well, this really is a pickle, Sherlock. A big pickle, unless there's something we're missing here. Poor Grace.
Oh, John, not you two.
Believe me, I don't think she did it. But there really doesn't seem to be anything so far to suggest she didn't.
Well, I don't even think for a moment it was her.
Well, what can be done, Sherlock? How can we figure out who the culprit was?
Elementary, Watson. We simply open our eyes and look at the facts closely. And already I can tell something is amiss that wasn't before.
What is it, Sherlock? What do you see?
Look, those windows up there, they're wide open.
Golly, you're right, they are.
And those windows weren't open all night. I suspect that they were open to get drafts of wind to come in and douse out the lights. At least in this room, since only candles were lit tonight.
I never thought of that.
And look, John, you can tell they were open from the outside. Someone was outside on the grounds, went up to those windows and opened them.
That's amazing, Holmes. How can you tell?
Look, finger smudges on the outside of the glass.
My goodness, you're right. There they are, plain as day. I never would have noticed such a thing.
Well, now we know that the lights going out wasn't an accident. Appears someone meant for these lights to go out.
Yes, but who?
Well, I intend to find out. Come on, John, let's do a bit more looking around.
Well, there it is.
Indeed. Come on, John, let's take a closer look.
Are you sure about this, Sherlock? What if someone sees us?
It'll only take a few moments, and besides, for Grace, I don't care if I get caught. Just want to prove she's innocent.
You really are head over heels for her, huh?
I do believe I am, John.
Well, what are we waiting for then?
That's the spirit. Give me a boost.
Do you see anything, Sherlock?
Oh,
What are you hawing about, Sherlock? Did you spot another clue?
I believe I did. The hand on this statue with scepter it's got smudges on it. All dirt and grease.
So,
So, recall the windows we saw had dirt smudges on them as well?
yes, that's right.
It appears as if whoever our culprit was not only opened the windows, but then took the scepter.
But what about Grace?
Simple, John. Remember, she was wearing gloves the whole night. There's no way she would have left fingerprint smudges on the windows. These prints are of someone whose hands were exposed to some element of grime.
But what about the scepter being hidden in her dress?
My guess is the culprit knew there was a possibility they were going to be caught, so they planted it on Grace to throw everyone off.
Now the question, who could this culprit be?
Aha!
Jerry, is that you?
Don't try any sweet talking or funny business, Watson. I've caught you and Holmes red-handed.
What are you talking about?
You're obviously trying to contaminate the crime scene somehow. Maybe Moriarty was right. You're clouded by love for Grace Duval, so you're covering up her tracks.
Don't be ridiculous, Lestrade.
Gary, we're simply trying to figure out what's really going on here. And so far, we found a few clues. It might not lead us to the culprit right now, but it's good for a step.
I don't know about this. You two are acting quite suspicious, if you ask me.
Gary, listen. You're the prefect here, yes?
I'm proud of it.
And you know that some people here don't quite take you seriously, yes?
They don't?
I'm afraid not. But listen, perhaps if you help John and I with this situation, it will go a long way to making other people accept you in a position of authority. In law enforcement, you have to know when to accept help. Or so my older brother Mycroft tells me. He's in law enforcement.
Isn't that all you've ever wanted?
Well, of course it is.
Then help us out, won't you?
You can count on me, Holmes.
Excellent.
Well, we found 2 clues so far. What do we do now, Sherlock?
I'd like to speak to someone about this situation. I think it could shed a bit more light on the situation. Lestrade, if you'll come with John and me, think more numbers, and it will work better for us.
Lead the way, Holmes.
Ah, why are you 3 squirts bothering me again?
We'd just like to ask you a few questions, that's all.
I already told everyone what I know.
Well, refresh my memory.
Yeah, tell him everything you remember about the event. If that's okay with you.
If you once must know, me and James were sitting in this room playing cards when suddenly the lights went out. We thought maybe someone was robbing the school, and we sure as heck didn't want to be around to see who it was. So we made our way back to the Christmas party in the main ballroom. Isn't that right, James?
It is.
That sounds like it makes sense.
It could, but perhaps you can answer this question. The lights were only out in the ballroom and the hallway. Your dorm isn't connected to either of those rooms. How did your lights go out too?
You really are a nosy little know-it-all, aren't you?
I'm merely asking Jarvis a question. He's allowed to answer for himself, isn't he?
You answered, James. These squirts are making me mad.
Come on now, Jarvis. It's a simple question. How did your lights go out? Or did they go out at all?
I'm gonna snug you in about 2 seconds, you little...
Jarvis, please, don't waste your time on these losers. Holmes, even you have to admit that the evidence against Grace is quite damning. The scepter was right in the dress, and we can account for the whereabouts where the lights went out.
I think you'll find, James, that I'd rather look at all the facts before I make up my mind.
I said it before, I'll say it again. He's blinded by his little puppy dog crush on her. Pathetic.
But you've shown interest in her too, haven't you?
True, but I'm not a fool. I don't let infatuation cloud my judgment. She had the scepter on her. For heaven's sakes, it's open and shut, if you ask me.
I suppose that's your right to think that.
Well, Jarvis, don't you ever wash your hands?
What are you getting at, you little busybody?
You stained Sherlock's shirt. Look for yourself.
Strange. Why are your hands so dirty, Jarvis?
He was helping me move my desk around, and it was dusty from lack of cleaning. Does that answer your question?
For now, yes. We shall return, though.
Please make it a point not to, I insist.
Well, we just stumbled upon another clue, it seems.
Right, Jarvis's hands.
Who knows how many germs those two ruffians have circulating in their room? Enough to make you sick.
I think we're on the right track, gentlemen. Come on. See if we can spot any more clues.
I think I may have something to contribute, Sherlock.
By all means, John, share it.
Yeah, don't withhold any evidence from us. It's an arrestable offense.
Right. Do you remember at the ball when I noticed how cold Jarvis's hands were?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Could that possibly mean he might have been outside at some point? It is December, after all.
Ah, an excellent point, John. And I think that's another clue.
Holmes, do you suppose Jarvis might have been the one to open those windows?
It's entirely possible, though with Moriarty to vouch for him, it'll be tough to prove.
Moriarty is a tough egg to crack, though. He seems to have an answer for everything.
I can already see that, Gary, but we've come this far already. No sense turning back. Hello. What's this?
I think Sherlock spotted something we couldn't see. Again.
How does he do it?
I ask myself that a lot.
Take a look at this, boys. There's a ledge up there with a windowsill.
Huh, I guess I've never noticed it. I was always just focused on walking to class every day.
Where do you suppose it leads?
Why ask when we can all see? Come on.
Are you sure about this, Holmes?
You're not afraid of climbing, are you, Lestrade?
Of course not. It's the falling I'm afraid of.
What the?
So that window led to a footpath that leads over here.
You three again. I thought I told you squirts to get out of my room.
Calm yourself, James. We were merely exploring something that we hadn't noticed before.
Well, if you don't get out of here, we're gonna merely beat the stuffing out of you.
Okay, we're going. Jeez.
Not just yet. James, I had to ask a few more questions for you, if you don't mind.
I said get out.
James, how is it exactly that you knew about Professor DeVore not getting promotion to Vice Dean recently?
Not that it's your business, but I overheard him talking about it during my volunteering to clean up Dean Merlin's office.
Ah, yes. Wasn't that the Stalwart program that Merryweather Academy had in place for all this time?
Yes, it was. Is that all the questions for you?
Almost. Tell me, James, one more time. Why were you moving the furniture around here again?
I already told you, Jarvis and I thought we saw a few mice in here, so we were checking it out.
Uh-huh. And before the lights went out tonight, you were doing what again?
Oh, for heaven's sakes, I already told you. We were playing jacks. Jacks! Is that so hard to understand?
Of course not. Will you excuse us, please?
This just gets more and more bizarre as the hours pass, doesn't it?
You can say that again, Sherlock. What do you make of all of this? Sherlock?
Gentlemen, I believe I might have an idea of what's going on here.
You do?
Indeed.
Sherlock! Sherlock!
That sounds like Grace.
It is. Grace, where have you been?
My father. He had me stay in my room until everything calmed down and we could discuss more. But I was just so upset. I was pacing the room. I couldn't bear to be alone with all of this going on. So I snuck out.
Well, don't worry about a thing, Grace. I feel as I got an idea what's really going on here.
You do?
Yes. Come on, everyone. Let's go find Professor DeVore and the Dean. I can explain everything.
I'll catch up to you in a moment. I just need to clear my head before I face my father and Dean Mellon.
I'll stay with her.
Of course, and don't worry, Grace. All of us know you're innocent, and I intend to prove it.
Thank you, Sherlock.
They'll clear your name, Grace. If anyone can do it, they can.
Well, hello there, Grace.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, come now. Why such a sad face? You're much more beautiful when you smile, you know.
You have some nerve speaking to her right now, after what you've accused her of doing.
Silence. Alas, Grace, I humbly apologize to you. Perhaps I was a bit hasty in my accusing you. I mean, none of us are perfect, myself included. Perhaps we can work something out here, Grace. We're both mature people, don't you think?
What on earth makes you think I want to work anything out with the likes of you?
Hear me out, won't you? I'll make a deal with you, and if you say yes to it, I will drop my accusation towards you. In fact, I'll make sure the entire student body knows that I made a mistake in accusing you. Then we can all work together to find out who stole the scepter from the statue.
And what do I have to do in return, pray tell?
Be mine, of course. Come now, think about it. I can offer you the world. My parents are both very rich and powerful people in England. Perhaps over a date we can spark some sort of flame. So, what do you say, my dear? Yes or no? Come now, Grace. I'm offering you the biggest out of your life. You'll be in the clear if I take back my accusation. And it'll save you and your father from massive embarrassment. Come now, Say yes, won't you?
Do you want an answer? How's this for an answer? You disgusting pig! You brute! I wouldn't want to be yours if the fate of the world depended on it. I'd rather be accused of something I didn't do than ever be associated with the likes of you.
Very well, then. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, my girl. I hope you enjoy an even bigger accusation from me about you and that scepter.
You see, sirs, I think I might have figured out what's really going on here with this whole situation.
Well, my boy, by all means, go on. It's nearly morning. Hard to believe we've been at this for almost the whole night.
Well, you see, sir.
Father! Father!
Grace? I told you to wait in your room until you were summoned.
But Father, you don't understand. James Moriarty, he...
Professor, Dean Merlin, a word, please. I just got an information that Grace is the one who...
Ahem, Morty, Jarvis. For once, I am glad to see you both. I was hoping you'd show up, and now you have. I can offer some clarity into what I think really happened.
Never mind this fool, Professor. I just got a full confession from Grace, and I can prove it.
You're lying! He's trying to blackmail me into being his girlfriend. He said he would drop his accusation if I were to become his.
He did. I was there.
You fiend!
My goodness! Such intrigue for children so young, wouldn't you say, Duval? Enough of this! I've already heard one accusation launched against my daughter. I refuse to listen to another one. Now then, Mr. Holmes, you were here first, so you have the floor. But make it quick and to the point, boy.
I'll only need a few moments, sir. Now then, let's go over the facts, shall we? At the ball tonight, the lights suddenly went out in the ballroom and the hallway. There was confusion and people rushing about. In said confusion, the scepter was stolen off the statue in the main hall.
By Grace Duval.
Now, as no doubt we saw, there was quite a lot of room for air in the culprit's pot. Eventually, with so many people scrunching and looking for the scepter, the culprit knew he would be caught. So fiend that he planted the scepter on Grace's person to make it look like she had done the crime.
Yes, that's all well and good, Mr. Holmes, but how and why? We still don't know those answers yet.
Allow me to elaborate, sir. Now, recall, we all thought it was rather strange that the lights all suddenly went out until I discovered that the windows in the ballroom were all forced open. Someone was looking to get a gust of wind to blow out all the lights. Furthermore, not only did we discover smudges on the window, still indicating that someone was outside the building opening them, we also saw those very same smudges on the statue, which leads me to you, Jarvis.
Huh? Why me?
As Lestrade correctly pointed out, your hands were quite dirty when we spoke to you tonight. Grace, if you recall, you wore gloves for the whole party.
That's right. I remember her talking at length about those silly things.
And remember, as John pointed out, Jarvis's hands were freezing to touch when he and James arrived on the scene during the blackout, almost as if he had been outside while this was going on.
That's pure nonsense. I told you we were playing cards when the light went out.
I thought it was jacks you were playing. You've changed your story, James.
I clearly said jacks both times.
And as I recall, you first said, Jarvis, hands got dirty because you were moving furniture to clean your room. Then it was to check for mice. Which was it?
Well, it was. You see, you were making me nervous with all your nosy questions. He's insufferable, isn't he? how he acts so high and mighty.
This isn't about him, it's about you, boy. Now hush up. Continue, Holmes.
Oh, and James, one last thing. As I recall, you told me about the Stalwart program, and you were cleaning in this very office and overheard the conversation Professor Duvall about his failed promotion.
Yes, I told you about it. What of it?
Well, I just find that quite interesting, considering our school doesn't and never did have a Stalwart program. I hate to lie to anyone, but I'd take a chance at the moment in seeing that you've confirmed you were in something that didn't even exist, which only fueled my suspicions.
Moriarty, you spy on my personal conversations, do you?
What? No, of course not. I just...
Would you like me to take a guess as to what I really think happened here? I deduce that Jarvis was the one who took the scepter, and when he panicked about being caught, he hid it in Grace's person.
And did Moriarty have anything to do with it?
Certainly not, Jarvis. I am shocked.
You might not have taken it directly, no, though at the very least you were lying about what was going on here tonight. May have been orchestrating things behind the scenes. Grace, didn't you say several figures were bumping into you during the blackout?
Yes, I remember.
No doubt Jarvis and Morty used it as a cover to plant the scepter on you.
These are very serious accusations, boy. Not to mention ones that make logical sense given what Holmes here has deduced. What have you to say about this?
Yes, James. What do you have to say? Can you offer any rebuttals that can prove me wrong? If so, please tell us. I'm always one to admit when I'm mistaken.
I could kill you for this, you snooping weasel. You couldn't just leave things alone, could you? Ah! Why do you always have to swoop in like some white knight when I try to do things around here? Okay, you want the truth? Fine. Jarvis and I did take the scepter. We took it to frame Grace. I did it to get back at her. Why do you like that fool more than me? I have everything in life you could possibly want. He has nothing. Why? Why?
I think you've answered your own question with what you did to me tonight.
Indeed you did, Moriarty. You and Jarvis are in a mountain of trouble. I shall make sure you two are expelled from this academy. You're lucky that no charges are pressed against you.
But that isn't fair. He made me do it, sir, honest.
Leave it, Jarvis. If I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Lestrade, come here, boy. Put that prefect position of yours to good use. Hold these two here with Dean Merlin while I contact their parents.
Sir, absolutely, sir. I've been waiting my whole life to do this. You're both coming with me. Sherlock, it was a pleasure working with you.
This isn't over. Not by a long shot. You've ruined me, you little cretin. I'll never forget this. I hate you. I hate your guts, Sherlock. Someday I'll get my revenge on you. You'll see. You'll see.
Jerry Lestrade is so brave.
Father!
Oh, my dear sweet angel, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you from the start. I knew that Moriarty was no good, and this only proves it. Oh, my dear, can you forgive an old fool like me?
Of course, Father.
And as for you, Holmes, my boy, Grace and I both owe you thanks. You were the only person, one of the only people, who believed her from the start. Not only that, but you and Watson here both used your heads to solve this little crisis. See? This is what I meant by using your gift of intelligence correctly. You certainly showed it tonight. Watson, Holmes, I'm proud of you for figuring this out without causing any trouble. Believe you me, this will not go unnoticed. I'll make sure you are both properly honored for this when we come back from our break in the new year.
And for Lestrade too?
Yes, for Lestrade too.
You mean it, sir?
I do. Now then, why don't we all try and get a little bit of sleep before we have to start making our way home for the break?
I don't think I can sleep a wink after all of this. It was so exciting.
I agree.
Goodness, you might be right. It's nearly dawn. Well, I'm going to my chambers to finalize my packing. Grace, join me when you can, won't you?
Of course, Father.
I think I forgot to pack a few things. I shall return. Come on, Marilis.
Oh, Sherlock, you're amazing. Thank you.
Anytime, Grace, but I can't take all of the credit. John did help a lot, and so did you.
But you were the only one who finally coaxed those slip-ups from James that proved he and Jarvis were the culprits. Oh, Sherlock, is there anything you can't do?
Oh, gee, I don't know about all of that. I'm certainly not perfect.
You are to me.
And you are to me, too.
I'll never forget that you were the only one who believed I was innocent from the start. Just the way you defend me, even when everyone else said not to. You're so wonderful, Sherlock. I'll always remember that you did this for me. Well, here we are again.
Yes, here we are again.
So what should we do now? We only have a few moments before we need to leave as my father for the Christmas break.
Well, would you look at that?
What is it?
Mistletoe.
So there is.
I think tradition dictates that people standing under this have to do a certain something, don't they?
That they do, but do you want to know something?
What?
I don't need mistletoe to do what I'd like to do right now.
Grace smiles, slowly leans in, and kisses Sherlock on the lips, lingering for a few moments, then breaking off.
Goodbye, Sherlock, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Grace.
Sherlock, we'd better get started on packing our suitcases. Our parents will be here soon. Sherlock? Holmes? Are you there, friend? Sherlock, what's gone into?
She kissed me.
Huh?
Grace, she kissed me, John.
She did. Just now. Oh, wow! That's great, Sherlock! What better way to end this whole crazy adventure? What was it like?
Picture all of the most wonderful things that you have ever happened to you in your life, and multiply it by 1,000,000.
That good.
Very much so.
Well, I'm happy for you, Sherlock. This seems like the absolute best Christmas present one can get, eh?
You can say that again. No amount of gifts can equal the girl of your dreams liking you as much as you like her.
Well, I can tell you this feeling's going to carry on for quite a while, eh, chum?
No doubt about it.
I've got to tell you, Sherlock, you did some fine work with all of this. I still can't get over how amazed I am that you did it.
Come on now, Watson. You, Grace, and Lestrade helped out too. Wasn't all me.
But you came in when it counted the most. I really admire that about you, Sherlock. You know, I wonder, have you ever thought of becoming a detective of some sort when you're older? Maybe having a job solving cases that seem unsolvable.
You know, the thought never crossed my mind, to be honest. But it's certainly something to consider.